Welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're going to be doing the front suspension. You saw the last video, I did the rear end. I put the rear end housing all together, put it into the car. Now this one we're working on the front end so we can get it on four wheels by the end of this video. So I'm going to get started on it, but just wanted to show you what I have all laid out. I ended up going with Scott Drake control arms, and all the rest of the stuff I either painted or powder coated. Stock Eaton springs, but pretty much everything is new except for some of these brackets, like these strut rods, spindles, center link. Tie rods are new, the centers are new, but they were all coated or painted, which in the picture quality it looks like you can't really tell too much, which is good because that's powder coated, those are powder coated, the spindles are powder coated, and these components are painted. So they're pretty close, so I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. But I have everything laid out with the hardware that it needs to go with those pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the saddles on the upper control arms, bolt them to that. I'm going to grease the control arms before I even stick them into the car because they're a disaster to get to those. I even have 90-degree fittings that came with them, and they don't fit in the shock towers. I think it's because they're new shock towers. They're a little bit tighter. So I'm gonna grease them before I put in those to make that easier on myself. I have the other pieces to do the hubs whenever it comes time to that, but that'll be last in this video, right before putting on the wheels. And springs, if you ever were wondering, putting in springs, that is a snap-on tool, compressor. And I use, especially whenever your springs are coated and you don't want to scratch them up, I cut some heater hose. You can actually see I slid it open. I put that on the spring and then rest the compressor on top of that so it can't skip on that fresh coating because it is pretty slippery on it. I've had it skip the first time I ever did it, so that's why I did that, to help reduce any kind of scratches, because that's the main goal, to get together the whole car without scratching it. So that being said, I'm going to start putting the suspension together. So it's just going to be GoPro footage of just the whole thing, and we'll come back whenever I'm pretty much finished here. And let's get to it. It's moving right along. The only thing I want to say, if you could see by me compressing those springs, it is a little bit scary to do, just because like these stock springs are so tall and there's so much spring to them that you really got to compress them hard. That's why I like using those rubber stops that you saw that I inserted in there, because they help it from skipping and keep that tool in place. But yeah, you just want to be careful. Make sure you wear safety glasses like I was in there, just because you don't want them to come apart, flying out. And then I just stuck in the shock with one set of hardware there, just to, if something was to happen, that the spring wouldn't just go flying, the shock would stop it. But there shouldn't be any issues now. They're really seated in there the way that they're designed. So I got all of that stuff in, mostly snug down. I didn't tighten anything besides the spindle nuts for the upper and lower control arms. So now I'm going to put the steering pieces in. Tie rods, center link, idler, all that stuff. I have new power steering pieces, so I'm hoping that these work out really well. The quality of them looks real nice. That's why I bought them. They're brand new ones. control valve and the slave cylinder. So I'm going to put those pieces in place, and also I'll put these backing plates on, and they are side specific also. The cutout here for adjusting your brakes is favored the back side of the car. Also, if you look on the other side, there is right there stamping at the end of it. It'll say L or R for left or right. So it makes it pretty simple. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up the GoPro and put the steering on, and then we'll be back to pack wheel bearings and set the hubs on, and then it's time for some wheels. Okay, so now it's time for my favorite part. It's ready to put the wheels on it. Not for the final time or anything like that, but just to be able to get it on the ground. I can move it around the shop then, and I want to move it forward so I can do the tail light panel area, put the lights in, backup lights, rear valance, rear bumper, all that stuff here coming up probably next. So that's what I was trying to do this for. So I got the hubs on and the rear axle's in so I can mount the wheels to there, at least to roll it. So, and I went ahead and I threw in the fuel line up front here too, while it was easily exposed. And that's pretty much it. So the only thing I have to do is I have to clean the steering box, my original one, and hook that up. I gotta paint it before I put it in too, but everything is there and ready for it. The ball stud on the control valve is what will pop up into that pitman arm. As you can see, that's pretty nasty. So got to clean that up, paint it so I can put it in, and then I can steer it. So yeah, now I'm just going to throw the wheels on. We'll set it down on the ground and just stand back and take a look at it. Well, there you go. It's finally back on four wheels for the first time in who knows how many years for this car, since it's been sitting. But it looks beautiful. It's just the way coming together that I hoped it would, with the look that it has. And like I said, that is the factory wheel and tire package that was ordered on this car. It was a styled steel wheel with that white wall tire. And I think it pulls the car together, especially whenever we get the front end on. The rest of the chrome, the glass, window trim, all that, the car will just really pop with the colors that are on the car. So all the suspension is done, front and back. So yeah, it'll be on to the next thing for this car, which would be the taillight panel area. So I'll move the car forward for the next video. Put the taillights in, the bodies, the lenses, gaskets, backup lights, rear valance, everything except for pretty much the rear bumper. I have brackets up there that I gotta get down, the blast, powder coat, and I need to get a rear bumper. I didn't get that yet. So look forward to the next videos on this. Also videos on the 67 Shelby replica car that I'm building. If you haven't seen that one on the channel, be sure to subscribe. And like and comment. Thanks for watching this video. I'm just gonna sit back and look at it for a little while and just admire the car. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.